As we enter our later years, many of us face an important decision. Where should we live? For many older adults, moving closer to their grandchildren or living with their children seems like an ideal choice, offering a sense of family closeness, safety, and the joy of spending time with loved ones. However, this decision can sometimes have unintended consequences, diminishing the independence and personal joy of older adults. Margaret's story, a 70-year-old woman, serves as a vivid example of this. Through her journey, we see that living too close to one's children can sometimes lead to sacrifices that may not be necessary for older adults. First lesson: when family closeness becomes a burden. After her husband passed away, Margaret began to feel a deep sense of loneliness and emptiness filling every corner of her old home. The familiar details and memories in the house only reminded her of what was missing, of the life she had once shared with her late husband. Her son, Michael, noticed the change in his mother, her quiet demeanor, tired eyes, and slower steps. He suggested that she move in with his family in the city so she wouldn't have to bear the weight of solitude any longer. The idea warmed Margaret's heart. As a mother who cherished closeness with her family and adored her grandchildren, she hoped this change might bring back joy and a sense of purpose in her life. The first few months were genuinely happy. The laughter of her grandchildren echoing through the house brought her new joy and hope. Margaret joined in the family's busy routine, helping her son and daughter-in-law around the house, caring for her grandchildren, and feeling that she had an important role in their everyday lives. Each morning, she woke up with a sense of purpose, happy to have loved ones to care for and help. However, as time passed, the initial joy began to fade, replaced by feelings of fatigue and frustration. Her role in the family gradually shifted from a supportive, encouraging presence to someone with increasing responsibilities. From preparing breakfast for the grandchildren, driving them to and from school, cleaning the house, to ensuring each meal and bedtime routine went smoothly, Margaret slowly found herself becoming a full-time caregiver. Her freedom and personal autonomy seemed to slip away as nearly every moment of her day was spent tending to others. She no longer had the private moments she once enjoyed to read, garden, or simply savor a cup of tea in quiet solitude. Margaret began to feel stifled, lost within the very home she had once anticipated would bring her peace. She loved her son's family, but the exhaustion sometimes made her wonder if she was truly living the life she wanted, or simply following the pace of others. The question, "Is this really the life I want?" echoed more and more in her mind, urging her to reflect on the meaning of life in old age, whether it was truly necessary to be close to her children and grandchildren, or to live independently with the time to be herself. She missed her old home, where each morning she could decide how to spend her day. She longed for the small garden she had tended for years, the soft summer days with the earthy sense of nature, the peaceful afternoons sitting on a wooden chair on her porch, watching everything around her and feeling a deep sense of calm. These little things, once taken for granted, had now become precious memories she yearned to return to. She wondered if the joy of being near family was worth sacrificing the peaceful, free moments she cherished. These thoughts grew stronger within Margaret, leading her to confront a larger question about the real value of old age. Should she sacrifice her freedom and independence just to live close to her family? Second lesson: the gradual loss of autonomy. Personal freedom is a crucial foundation for maintaining mental and emotional health, especially in old age. For Margaret, this freedom didn't vanish suddenly but was gradually eroded day by day. When she moved in with her son's family, she thought she would be helping and supporting them. But in reality, she found herself caught up in a swirl of unnamed responsibilities. Small tasks started to pile up, from waking up according to the family's schedule, cooking, and cleaning to adjusting her personal routine around the needs of others. These seemingly ordinary actions gradually stripped her of the control over her own life, leaving her feeling as if she was no longer herself. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said that freedom is what we do with what has been done to us. But for Margaret, freedom seemed to slip away without her even noticing. The small joys of tending her own garden, reading a book, or taking peaceful walks around her quiet neighborhood were swept away by the busy pace of her son's household. She began to feel as though she was losing herself, a loss invisible to others but deeply painful to her. Margaret began to wonder if this was the inevitable fate of old age, to trade away personal freedom and autonomy simply to fit in with family life. Or was it her desire to help others that had brought her to this point of losing her independence? This question became increasingly clear and heavy in her mind, urging her to reclaim her sense of self and her right to live in a way that aligned with her own desires. Third lesson: the invisible burden, the housekeeper syndrome. The housekeeper syndrome is a common reality faced by many older women when they move in with their children's families. Initially, Margaret simply wanted to support her son and daughter-in-law with caring for the young grandchildren, hoping to ease some of the family's daily pressures. Yet, over time, she gradually became a full-time caregiver without even realizing it. From taking the grandchildren to school, cooking, and cleaning to meeting the everyday needs of the entire household, her life became almost entirely consumed by countless, nameless responsibilities. Moments of peace to rest and enjoy her own interests became rare luxuries. The personal space and time she once had for herself were now completely occupied by her family's demands. The freedom and autonomy that had once been an unquestioned part of her life were now only memories. This phenomenon is known as the housekeeper syndrome, a situation that many elderly women face when they take on the role of an unofficial, unpaid caregiver within their families. The voluntary help they initially offered gradually solidifies into fixed responsibilities, robbing them of personal time and decision-making power. For Margaret, these acts of love and care for her family slowly became an invisible burden. She felt unable to refuse or express her true feelings, as she did not want to be seen as a burden to her children. Thus, she found herself trapped in the housekeeper role with no escape, absorbed in a cycle of responsibilities that led her to forget her own dreams and personal interests. Margaret's story is a testament that, while family love is precious, excessive sacrifice can cause older adults to lose the joy and meaning in their own lives. Fourth lesson: rediscovering freedom and self. On a quiet night, as she sat by the window gazing at the stars, Margaret began to reflect deeply on her life. The gentle starlight seemed to stir memories of her independent days, times when she made her own choices, from daily plans to personal hobbies like gardening, reading, and going for walks. She suddenly realized that living in her son's home had caused her to lose the private space and freedom she needed to live true to herself. This realization didn't come easily. There were moments when she felt selfish for wanting her own space, thinking that her grandchildren needed her and that family was where her love and energy should be. But after many nights of reflection, and with the encouragement of a close friend, Margaret finally found the courage to choose an independent life once more. This wasn't a decision to leave her family behind. It was a way to reclaim her sense of self and preserve her mental well-being. She understood that, to fully love and cherish her grandchildren, she also needed time to care for herself. After moving out, Margaret's life gradually returned to the rhythm she had always cherished. Each morning, she awoke when she pleased, enjoyed a warm cup of tea on her porch, and relished moments of freedom unburdened by obligations. She began dedicating time to her personal passions, such as joining an art class, meeting friends, and participating in social activities at the community center. Whenever she visited her grandchildren, she felt energized, joyful, and eager to create meaningful memories with her family. Returning to an independent life not only restored Margaret's zest for living, but also brought her closer to her family. Each visit was refreshing, as she was no longer absorbed by daily responsibilities and could genuinely enjoy precious moments with her loved ones. With a calm and open heart, these visits became truly quality time, where each moment was filled with warmth and meaning, unclouded by the weight of obligation and fatigue as before. Fifth lesson: the benefits of maintaining independence. Scientific research shows that living independently in old age not only improves mental health, but also brings numerous physical benefits. When older adults have the freedom to make their own choices, they not only experience a fuller life, but also live authentically, doing the things they love and staying connected with society. Maintaining independence allows older adults like Margaret to care for themselves in the way they desire. The freedom to plan their own days brings comfort and reduces stress, lowering the risk of depression and anxiety, mental health issues often faced by those limited by family obligations. When older adults can make decisions about their own lives, they feel happier and stronger, empowered by the ability to be in control. Furthermore, independent living supports social connections, a critical component in maintaining mental health. After moving out, Margaret was able to engage in social activities, meet friends, and connect with others who shared her interests. These relationships not only brought her joy but also reinforced her sense of value and importance. Margaret's journey to reclaim her independence is a testament that at any stage of life, we can rediscover our self-worth and right to make choices. Her decision to live on her own helped her not only rediscover herself but also strengthened her relationship with her family, allowing her to truly embrace and enjoy her golden years. Final lesson: the paradox of distance, growing closer through personal space. Distance within a family can sometimes be a crucial factor in nurturing relationships. By choosing to live separately, Margaret and her son Michael began to value their time together more. No longer seeing each other daily, each reunion became more special, filled with meaningful moments. Michael no longer took his mother's presence for granted. Instead, he came to appreciate each visit and the genuine care they shared during their time together. Margaret, too, found joy in no longer having to fill the daily role of housekeeper. Each visit with her children and grandchildren became an opportunity to share, to listen, and to truly connect, free from the demands of daily tasks. She could enjoy her family and pour her love into their time together without feeling weighed down by responsibilities. Physical distance can be necessary to give each family member the freedom and autonomy they need. This does not mean emotional separation. On the contrary, this freedom allows for genuine family moments where everyone approaches each other with appreciation and affection. Distance creates the space for family members to reflect, understand, and empathize with one another. Sometimes, establishing personal space is the best way to build a sustainable and deeper family relationship. Old age is not a time to retreat, but a time to rediscover oneself and live fully in alignment with true values. Margaret realized that her golden years are not merely a period of rest, but an opportunity to find herself, pursue passions, and enjoy freedom. It is never too late to choose an independent, free, and personally fulfilling life. The decision to live separately allowed Margaret not only to reclaim her sense of self, but also to improve her relationship with her family. No longer bound by invisible responsibilities, she found joy in every family reunion, able to embrace her loved ones with a cheerful spirit, positive energy, and complete autonomy. Margaret's story reminds us that at any age, we have the right to live according to our values and desires. Old age is not a time to withdraw. It is a time to truly live a fulfilled life, where each day is built on a foundation of joy, freedom, and happiness. Listen to yourself, cherish your independence, and allow yourself to live fully in alignment with life's precious values. Only then will our golden years truly become a meaningful and fulfilling journey. If you find this video useful, inspiring, and motivating, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment with the number 1. And if you feel the content wasn't quite right, comment with the number 2. Your feedback helps us improve and deliver better content. Thank you for taking the time to watch.